Good afternoon, beekeepers and bee enthusiasts. How you doing? It's another great day at the farm, and we're here at the forestry hive. Now, you probably saw this hive in a few previous videos, and it had bees coming in and out, and I thought there might have been a colony inside, but I looked inside the hive, I checked it out, and it was pretty much empty. And so I cleaned it out, I baited it so a swarm could move in, and as you can see, we have scout bees on the inside of here. Now I know these are scout bees because if it was a colony, there'd be traffic coming and going, but we know that these are scouts. You know, they're not really bugging me that much or anything, but they are just checking out the hive and seeing if it'll be good to go and be a good home. So hopefully we get a swarm here soon, and it should be pretty good. It's definitely good to see scouts. I mean, it's definitely a good sign for catching some bees. So yeah, they look good. All right, so it's April 1st. The weather is beautiful outside. I mean, it's sunny. There's a few clouds in the sky, but it is perfect for swarm season. And we're going to talk all about swarm season in this video. But while I'm talking, I figured I would bait this swarm trap. You can watch me do it, and we can talk about swarm season and everything and what it is and what to look for. And it should be a lot of fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started on this. So what is swarm season? Well, we all know swarms are basically when colonies of honeybees will reproduce on a colony level. So they're reproducing, and basically they will start producing a bunch of bees, and up to half of the colony may leave with a queen and go search for a new home. And most bees will attempt to swarm. I mean, as long as they're in good health, they're pretty much going to attempt to swarm, and they will go and search for a home. It could be in a tree, it could be in a shed, it could be in a beautiful swarm trap, it could be in several locations, but they will go and look for new homes. Now, colonies can swarm multiple times in the season. If a colony is big enough, they can cast multiple swarms. It's just depending on their health, how big they are, and, you know, how far they can go, I guess. But in any case, what we can do during swarm season is we can set up these beautiful swarm traps. I mean, they are the finest quality. And we can basically try to house a colony of honeybees. And, you know, whereas a lot of beekeepers in the USA will try to buy packages which can cost, you know, $200 if not more sometimes, we can catch swarms out in nature, and the bees are absolutely free. And we can catch them, and free bees are the best bees. Swarms are also really good to catch because they are local bees, and local bees will always be the healthiest bees you can get. The best bees you can get are from your own backyard, because swarms are used to the climate, they're used to the weather, they're used to the flowers, they're used to all that stuff. So swarms are really healthy. Now, if you were watching what I was doing, I basically took a paper towel, I put some lemongrass essential oil on it, and I put it in this Ziploc bag. And I'm going to put a small hole in this bag. And lemongrass essential oil is a very good attractant to catching swarms. So if you can get you some lemongrass essential oil, put it on a paper towel, put it in a Ziploc bag, poke a small hole in it, put it on the base of your swarm trap, then it really increases your chances of catching swarms. So, but don't overdo the lemongrass essential oil. If you put too much in there, it could scare the bees away. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. So you saw me put some propolis in there. I put the lemongrass essential oil. Now I'm going to put my frames in. Now, remember what I talked to you about. Some of the best bait you can get for swarm traps is a very clean frame of comb. Now, I got this frame from when we processed that honey in our last video, and I basically put it outside. I let the bees clean off the remaining honey, So they left it like this, and it's pretty much good to go. Now, if you can get comb for your swarm trap, that's probably some of the best bait you can find, because bees, when they're looking for a new home, if they can find some existing comb where they're moving, they're way more likely to move in, because it's like free housing that they can get started on. They really like it. Now, swarm season, it usually only goes for about a month or so. I guess it could go a little longer. And by the way, honeybees can swarm all the way up until September, or October. I've even heard of them doing it in October. So they can swarm late in the season. But there is a period where basically the spring happens and the weather gets nice, and they are very likely to swarm during that time. And that's why we call it swarm season, because a lot of honeybees will be swarming and they'll be good to go. Now, if you saw my video, or the clip at the start of the video, I was by the forestry hive. And the forestry hive had a colony in it last year. They left. And then about a week or two, I checked on it, and it was full of junk, and I was going to clean it out. But then I started seeing bees around the hive, and I thought there maybe a colony had moved in. But then I checked the hive a few days ago, and I saw that the colony was, it was empty, and so I baited it, and I basically got it set up to catch bees. And now I'm still seeing, like you saw in the clip today, scouts. And what you will see on swarm traps, and if you've baited a main hive or wherever, you'll start seeing scouts. And what they're doing is they are going to the location, they are going on the inside, they are crawling around, they're getting all the dimensions of the inside of the hive, and they're just seeing if it is the perfect home. And if you start seeing scouts that are just checking out your hive, that's a good sign that you're going to catch some bees there soon. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. I've seen scouts on a swarm trap, and then they checked it out, and then they didn't end up moving in. So that can happen sometimes. But if you see scouts, it's a really good sign that bees are interested in what you've provided. Cool. So this swarm trap is baited. It's ready to go. We put propolis on the inside. We put lemongrass essential oil. And then we put our frames in, and one of our frames had some existing comb on it. So that is what you need to catch a swarm of honeybees. If you can get those three things, propolis, lemongrass essential oil, and comb, if you can get those three things in there, then you have a really good chance to catch some bees. Now, let's go look around, and we'll find a good spot for this swarm trap. Okay, so I'm kind of liking this tree right here. I'm trying to space out our hives as much as I can, but this is kind of a little bit further away from our other hives. We've got a source of water. Remember, I've told you that tree lines are really good when catching bees. And we kind of are on the edge of the tree line, but we're also beside a creek here. So we're going to put the swarm trap in this tree right here. I'm going to go get my stuff, put it up, and we'll get it up in the tree. Do too much as far as how I get it up on the tree. We basically just use a ratchet strap. Remember, I've said in the past, one of the most important things you can do when you're putting the swarm trap up is make sure it's level. So if you put a swarm trap up in a tree and it's not level, then the bees will build their comb in accordance to gravity and you get cross comb. And then when you take the frames out of the swarm trap to say put it into a hive, it will be a lot more difficult and it's just going to be a big issue. The best way to avoid that is to make sure your swarm trap is level when it's up in a tree. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. I'm going to get the ratchet on first, and then after I do that I will level it out, and then we'll be good to go. So I got my ratchet ready. I think we're ready to put this up in the tree. Okay, we got up there for the most part. Now, just have to make sure it's level. Trying to maneuver this around the tree a little bit. As level as you can. That's pretty level. Alright, there's a level swarm trap. Now we'll straighten it up a little bit. Got a bunch of stuff laying around. Cool. I guess I better open the front, huh? Cool. So we got our swarm trap up in the tree. It's nice and level. I think it looks really good. And yeah, hopefully we can get a colony of bees here. You know, we've definitely baited it to the best of our ability. So should be a good time. And yeah, we should hope to see some bees up there soon. Okay, so you saw us basically bait a swarm trap today. We got it up in a tree. We're doing this now because swarm season is basically here. It's getting started. Our friends Roy and Shirley have already caught their first swarm, and they're in a little bit colder climate than we are actually, so they're seeing bees. I know we're going to start seeing a lot of bees around here. We're seeing scout activity, and we're just so excited about swarm season. It's pretty much my favorite time of the year as a beekeeper because, you know, whenever you can catch some local bees that are in your area, then it's always good. And the bees are always the healthiest, and we're just so happy to do it every year. So we're getting a lot of bee hotels out there for them to move into, and we're getting set up. And hey, you do the same. If you want to get started in beekeeping, or if you've never caught a swarm before as a beekeeper, go get you a swarm trap, bait it like we have, and then find you a good tree, and then you're good to go, and you'll be able to find a good home for them, and you'll get some good local honeybees, and those are the best bees you can find. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, we'll see you soon.